Mr. Lamb, I want you to tell me something. How much did this cost you?
We've spent $500,000.
Where'd you get the money?
We had a great friend that gave us $350,000 in 1 year that we spent trying to fight this. That's why it's so well documented.
So for $500,000, what did you get?
I got enough evidence, paper trails, if you will, to show how corrupt this court system is, to show how it all works, to show how she appoints everyone to keep you inside this spider web that you can't get out.
Tell us more about that.
Okay. For example, the amicus attorney, Lindsay Newell, she's been in this case for 5 years. She's following me around just like Judge Wells. Cannot get out from under her. In one point, during our trial, they set the mother's child support payment at $280 a month, paid through the Attorney General's office. But she set Lindsay Newell's payment at $600 a month, paid through the Attorney General's office, just like a child support payment, which is illegal in the state of Texas, which Judge Wells has already been in trouble with before for doing that to people. So she tried to set my child support payment through the Attorney General's office with Lindsay Newell, the amicus attorney on the case. Then, whenever our attorney at the time, Cynthia Terry, she ran against Judge Wells as a judge. She wanted to expose the corruption herself. That's why we hired her. So she was so angry about Judge Wells doing this to me and setting these payments to Lindsay Newell through the Attorney General's office that she let me know. She's done this before, she's in trouble, I'm gonna go take care of it. So she goes down to talk to Judge Wells about, this ain't right, you can't make him pay that way. And instead, when Cynthia Terry walks out of the courtroom, she gives me a call and lets me know that I can no longer be your attorney anymore. I just made judge over the juvenile court. So Cynthia Terry literally made judge on my case. The last day she was an attorney was the last day she walked in to represent me, and she was made judge. That's the way this whole system works. Favor system, move you up in places that you can be, where you can continue this corruption. In fact, we just found out that the amicus attorney, Lindsay Newell, she's about to make judge. They're trying to make her a judge.
And it's going to happen. She'll be a judge.
Oh yeah, for everything she's done for this court, for every way that she's kept us in this way, she'll make judge. She definitely will, just like Cynthia Terry made judge.
And Lindsay Newell fights so much more for the mom than the mom's own attorney. It's all Lindsay, not Kat Morin.
Yeah, that's a misconception. Every time anybody says something about, oh, she must have great attorneys, we've never fought. We've never fought the mother, and we've never fought the opposing counsel, not once. It's always Lindsay Newell. We'll have a baseball game, if you will, that's 50-0. We'll have supervisors, we'll have sexual assault nurses, cops, play therapists, family members, friends, all these people testifying to all the abuse that my children go through, and nothing at all on the other side besides the amicus attorney. She's the one that covers up all this. She makes up, it's gotten so absurd at this point, it's complete nonsense. Even at one of the supervised visits, the very first supervised visit, when I didn't see my kids at all for 30 days. And our very first supervised visit, my son looks at the supervisor and says, please don't make me go back. Mommy still hits me in my face. She made a CPS report about it. The very next morning, my daughter shows up with a busted lip saying, Mommy did it. She takes pictures of that and made a CPS report about it. And what do you know? Both of those cases were closed within 24 hours. In fact, the first one that she made where my son said, don't make me go back, Mommy still hits me in my face, that was closed before the very next morning when she tried to make the other one. That's how fast they close these cases. That's how much power this judge has. That's how she reaches out and controls everything that goes on in your case. You cannot get out from under her. We've done recusals, part of the $500,000. We've done a mandamus. We've tried to do everything, and all roads lead back to Judge Wells. She's the one that makes the final decisions on all that. Do you want to recuse yourself? Nope, I don't. There's $15,000 that you just spent for absolutely nothing at all.
And we tell people, and they're like, they can't do that. Why'd they do that?
They always talk about my case being that they can't do that case. That's what my attorneys would call it all the time. They can't do that. That's what we would hear constantly across the board. They can't do that. Just like the child support payments through Lindsay Newell, everything that she does, they can't do that. That's how powerful Lindsay Newell and also Judge Wells, that's how powerful they are.
I have one final question.
All right.
You've told me earlier that there's a reason for this. And I said, well, that amounts to a pediatric gulag that children are held in bondage on the say-so of doctors or investigators or trauma nurses or investigators of various types. all of it based on medical evidence.
Right.
And yet, the judge blocks any criminal complaint, keeps it in the civil thing. We've called that a pediatric gulag. Now, what is the purpose of that? There's a method, there's a reason for that. You told me about it. What is it?
They keep you in the family court system. They keep you there. Whereas these violent acts on my children, the drugging, the beatings, the rape, the molestation, killing their animals in front of them, these are crimes. This is not a civil matter at all. It never has been a civil matter, and they keep you in the civil courtroom. You cannot get out. And they tie your hands of any way outside of that. FBI, you name it, the Crimes Against Children unit, they tie your hands to where you cannot get help from anywhere else. You have to rely on the court system.
What's the reason for it?
State funding and federal funding. They get money for these children. The second that abuse is involved, they no longer belong to the mother or the father. Now they belong to the state of Texas, meaning they belong to Judge Wells. Judge Wells makes money off my children, not only the $500,000 that we're spending, and the opposing counsel, which is not much because I've had to pay it all, but she makes money on federal funding and state funding.
So would you consider this state-run industry, this pediatric gulag, to be a completely socialistic government operation to do what? To generate cash flow?
It's the mafia. It's the mafia with less morals.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir.